Hey, hi guys, this is Faizan and welcome to today's session on Introduction to JavaScript. Now, before we start, can you guys really confirm in the chat if I'm audible or not? Just quickly write a yes in the chat if everything is okay. Can you hear my voice properly? Can you see the pointer? Can you see the slide deck? Right? If everything is okay, then quickly write it in a chat. Write a yes or no. While we wait for others to join, let me give you a quick tour of how our academy looks like. So you just type in Great Learning Academy in any browser and then it will the first link that appears, just click on it and it will redirect you to this page. Now in this page we have career options, and if you're looking for explicitly in IT and software, just click on software development. Right, you can just check out all the other courses that are available. Okay, if you're looking for transformation in programs from top universities like IIITH Hyderabad, we have courses. If you're explicitly talking about software development, so we have these programs available: IIITH Hyderabad, IIIT Hyderabad, and then is MCA program with Jain University as well. Okay, and if you're looking for free courses, or if you're looking for a career plus preparation, and if you're looking for your cracking jobs, if you're looking to if you're planning to give some interviews, just click here, and this is absolutely free. And we have testimonials as well by these students who got selected as a this Nanda got selected as a software engineer in Informatica. Okay, now if you're looking for explicitly some free courses that are available, you guys can check it. We have courses available in Hindi as well as in English. So if you're looking explicitly in IT and software, we have data structures and algorithms in Java, we have Java programming, we have cybersecurity. All these courses are absolutely free. And if you're looking for a completion certificate, you need to answer 10 questions out of 10. You need to answer 6 questions correctly, which will be based on obviously what you have learned. And plus you can also have we have courses in Hindi as well. You guys can check it as well. And once the completion of these courses, you can add those courses or certifications, the completion certificates, in your resumes, in your LinkedIn profiles, and also the projects that you have done in those certifications or the completion certification, or in those courses, you can add them as well. And obviously you need to justify them as well. Okay, so these are all the courses. Okay, now if you're looking for live sessions, you can check it over here. Just you need to just do the drop down and just go into the very last, and then you can see we have session today itself at 4. We have landing in your first data science job. Okay, if you're looking to get started in data science, you can check it. Then if you want to excel Excel that is there from scratch, you can check it. That is the session that is tomorrow. Okay, cool. So now let's get started. So what this course is all about, it is about the prerequisite for the course that we have already uploaded on our YouTube channel. So if you guys have subscribed to our channel, we have uploaded a course that is a 10-hour course on JavaScript the day before yesterday, that is 2 days ago. Okay, now this is part of that course. If you want to get started in JavaScript, we have courses, we have a proper 10-hour video, 10 plus hour video on JavaScript, including the projects as well, which you can easily add in your resumes. Okay, now let's get started. What are the things what we are going to cover, so that the fear of learning a new language is not there, so you can just directly go into that 10-hour course and start learning and implementing. Obviously in that course we have implementations. I have implemented it very efficiently, and I have implemented after every concept there's an implementation. Okay, that is a very good for if you are absolutely beginner, you can learn it. And also at the end we have some advanced topics including the projects. Okay, now let's see what are the things that we are going to cover in this session. Which fees? There is no fees. Okay, there is no fees associated with it. It is on a YouTube channel and it is absolutely free. Okay, so what are the things we are going to cover? What is JavaScript? Then little bit of history of JavaScript. Then yeah, we have Java courses as well on our Great Learning Academy as well as on our YouTube channel. Okay, and we are going to we are soon planning to release a video on advanced Java as well. Okay, that will take a little bit time, but we are working on that. Okay, so that will cover your Spring and all those things. Okay, so what are the tools where we are writing our JavaScript code? We'll write our first hello world program. Then we'll talk about comments, obviously, which are very important. Variables, data types, what is type coercion, what are the JavaScript properties which makes it different from all the other programming languages that are there. We'll talk about operators, and then finally we'll conclude our session with conditional statements. Okay. Now, in this course, what is happening in this session, what we are going to deal with, we are going to deal with the prerequisites. Now, this is all the prerequisite that is for the course that is already available on our YouTube channel. Okay. You can either watch that 10-hour course on a 2x speed later when we are done with this session, or you can just skip that portion. From this portion to this portion, you will skip it and then continue. Okay, whatever suits you. Okay, now let's get started. What is the JavaScript? Now, if you talk about any web page, right? What is a website? A website is nothing but a collection of web pages. Okay, so we have web pages. This is our one web page. This is our second web page. So all of these, when are connected, will make a website. Now, how do you create this web page? Basically, the first element that will be there is HTML, which defines the structure, basically, which defines your structure of your house, where is going to be the window, here is going to be the washroom, here is your dining table, here you are going to have dinner. All those things will be there, and this will be done with the help of HTML. Then there comes CSS, which is just to add the beautification and all those things. Okay, any prerequisite for learning JavaScript? No, not at all, not at all. Anything that you want to learn will be there on our 10-hour course. A little bit of HTML, so that you can pick, which helps us to pick the elements that are there on our HTML page. Okay, what applications are possible in JavaScript? Already we have sessions that in which we created tic-tac-toe game is there, or you can create it in the JavaScript as well. You can create a ping pong game, you can create a snake game in JavaScript, you can create a to-do list. These are all the beginner sessions or beginner projects that you can start with. Obviously, then sky's the limit. Okay, I have started to learn Python. Yeah, Python can be also, we have courses available on Python. Yeah, whatever suits you. In my opinion, in Python you need to keep track of indentation and all those things. JavaScript is much more simpler than Python, in my opinion. How many hours of program a day, sir? So if you want to be an expert in JavaScript or any other language, right, you need to start giving 5 hours daily. In 2 months, if you're giving 5 hours daily, then obviously a lot of things will be covered, and then start creating something. These are on the learning period, or a month or so. That means 30 days into 5. That means 150 hours is enough to get a strong hold on any language. Okay. Then obviously you need to create applications with which you can see, okay, is this the thing that I learned, and this is how I'm going to implement it. And then you will learn more by creating. Okay. Done. So this is what, now we are talking about HTML. Now the structure has been defined. Now what is the next thing is the actions that it will be performing. So those actions, all the actions that are performed on a web page, is basically your JavaScript. It can be done with the help of JavaScript. It is an object oriented. That means all the 4 programming pillars will be there, and it uses a JIT compiler. That means the best of 2 worlds. What are the best of 2 worlds? Interpreter and compiler. Now, what is the best thing about compiler? Can anyone tell me? And what is the best thing about interpreter? Quickly. So now, if you talk about compiler, it will check once, it will go through the entire program and then give you the errors and all those things at the end. It will check line by line. Now, this going through the entire thing at once, as sometimes you might not get those errors which will be there, because sometimes it happens, right? And in the interpreter, when there is a while loop, it will go through that while loop again and again and again, because line by line it's checking, right? So that code is given to the compiler to check the compiler, it will be given to the compiler and it will check it, go through it only once. Now this is the beauty of this JIT. So it uses the best properties of interpreter and best properties of compiler. That is what this just-in-time compiler does. Okay, basically this is your warm code. Your warm code is given to the compiler, which checks it, and then it checks the whole code. Yeah, exactly, Ravi, right? So now it is everywhere, and all the web browsers are installed with it, right? If you talk about Google Chrome, there is a web. Obviously, you can write your JavaScript code directly in your Google Chrome, right? So we can when you're talking about JavaScript, applications can be ranged from web development, mobile development, application development, right? All those things can be done. Interpret checks line by line. Exactly, Ravi. Yes. and it is very easy, simple, and very compatible with HTML and CSS. So basically, with the help of HTML and CSS, we can, with the help of JavaScript, we can easily pick elements, right? That is when we talk about DOM, right? A DOM is nothing but a document. When you're trying to basically, I'll give you a naive basic idea what DOM is. Basically, all the elements on your HTML page will be treated as an object, so that you can pick those objects and manipulate them with the help of JavaScript. Let's suppose when you click on this button, what should happen? There should be a blue background and the image should move from left to right, all those things, right? So it is and if you're looking for a software development role, it's a must to have skill, right? And if you're looking for to be a full stack developer in 2021, that means you want to go with the backend as well as the front end. JavaScript is very important, right? And when you talk about JavaScript, why is it important in 2021 when you're talking about JavaScript, and why is it important to become a full stack developer? How you can become it? Because in JavaScript there is one of the most important library, that is React.js, and the Node.js that is there, which is a runtime environment. So you are dealing with front end as well as back end. So that's it. You are becoming basically, you are doing the back end process as well as the front end process, thus making you a full stack developer. And this is the shortest and simplest way. Okay, so JavaScript is very important. Basically, you should have a good hold of JavaScript, because basically React.js is also dependent on JavaScript, and Node.js is also dependent on JavaScript. Okay, so this is how you do it. So now obviously now you might be thinking, okay sir, so should we start with JavaScript? Yes, absolutely. Okay, because only then you will get a good hold of JavaScript, and then you can only start learning. And also there are already jobs available in JavaScript as well. Okay, now what about the history? So there was a this person, Brendan Naik, he was working in Netscape, and he is the founder of this JavaScript. Basically, in Netscape, he developed this language in 10 days. Now, if any language is developed in 10 days, obviously there will be some errors, there will be some drawbacks, or there will be some limitations to this language. And then we came up revising it. Okay, so he developed it in 10 days in 1995, and it was first developed for the Mozilla Firefox, which was the Spider Monkey at that time, which was known. Spider Monkey was this the what you say the in Mozilla Firefox, which is a browser. Spider Monkey was being used, and it was first developed for that JS, the JS engine that was there. The JS, it was known as Spider Monkey. Okay, and then earlier it was known known as Mocha, then LiveScript, and then finally we it is known as JavaScript. Now you might be thinking, okay, is there any similarity between Java and JavaScript? It is just the naming that at that time it was given to it. So it is there, you might see that Java is written because at that time Java was on boom, and they wanted to keep it some like whatever somewhat relatable to Java. But obviously there's a huge difference between a Java and a JavaScript. If you talk about simple differences, that is, it is a front end tool, or you can say that anything that you do on the front end, that is whatever you see on the front end side of the things, that is JavaScript. And whatever you're doing with the back end side of things, which you cannot see, like how it is getting stored, how you are fetching the data, all those things is Java basically. Okay, so there is no similarity between Java and JavaScript. Now, how do you write your first program? Now let's get into that. Okay, so basically there are several ways with which you can get started. But first, let's talk about what are the things that you should have. You should have a text editor and a browser. That's it. Done. You can code. Okay. Now, text editor, it depends, right? You can go with a simple text editor like Notepad if you don't want to download anything, or you can go to complex editors like Visual Studio is there, Visual Studio Code, Atom is there, right? All those things, and Sublime Text is there. Now, what is the difference between one text editor to other text editor? Basically, the more powerful your editor is, the more properties you will get, like auto completion. You just have to write HTML and then press a tab, it will give you an entire skeleton. So that is nothing but auto completion, right? If you want to do the indentation, that means this element is there, or this script is written, whatever is written inside it, it should be indented in this way. That means proper spacing should be, so that it is much more readable, right? So these things should be there, and highlights that this is let's suppose this is red and this is red, then whatever is written here, this is blue and this is blue, so that it is easily readable. The more, these are simple properties, right? Yes, brackets can be also used. Yes, Ramzan. Okay. Okay, so now the more powerful your editor is, more additional properties you will get. So this is the difference between from one editor to another. In my opinion, whatever is, sir, I heard Notepad++ is better than Notepad. Yes, because of the features of these things, like auto completion is there in Notepad++, and then you have indentations, highlights are there in Notepad++. But in my opinion, you should not change to from Visual Studio to Atom, let's say. But yeah, Notepad is not that much use, and it will just save your if you're using a better editor, it will just save you some, it will help you in utilizing your time in much more efficient things, right? So auto completion will be there, you just have to write it will just auto completes for you, right? So the more powerful, the more better is for your coding, right? Now what else? So obviously now you might be thinking, okay sir, should I go for Sublime or should I go for Atom, should I go for Visual Studio? In my opinion, if you are having any, like Ramzan, he told I'm familiar with brackets, can I use it? Yes, you can. You don't have to change to Visual Studio. Yeah, from Notepad you can go to Visual Studio, but not from Visual Studio to any other thing, okay? Because that is one and the same thing, okay? So can I learn JS without the knowledge of programming? Yes, absolutely. Yes, I said, okay. Okay, so this is all about text editors. What about the browsers? What are the browsers? So any browser will suffice, okay? So if you are going for Google Chrome, obviously you can use it. Internet Explorer, some of the things will not work, so it's better to go for the the browsers like Firefox or Mozilla is there. Mozilla Firefox is there. You can go for Google Chrome, okay? Safari is there, okay? You can go for any, but in my opinion you should go for something which is authentic, not authentic in the sense that is which has a huge community behind it, that is Google, okay? So the Google Chrome, right? So these are the tools. Now how do we write our first program? That's the main thing, right? How do we start our coding? So there are three different ways, right, with which you can just directly write your code. The first simplest way is writing in the console, right, which can be opened simply. How long this course is? So basically, Kamlesh, this is a 1 hour session, but this is a prerequisite for our course that is already present on our YouTube channel. It was uploaded 2 days ago, and that course is for 10 hours and 30 minutes, okay? And that will include everything. So this is just to, clear your doubts. What are the doubts? You can ask me anything, okay? What are the doubts? What are you thinking? Anything, so that you can just, after the session is over, you just go into that if you have subscribed, obviously you have subscribed. So then, if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to our channel, and once you have all the doubts cleared, you can just directly learn everything that you should know in order to get started, okay? So everything is there, starting from beginners to advanced, and plus at the end we have some projects as well, which you can easily add in your resumes, and you should do all the research that are there on that course, right? So why do we did this, why do we do that, and all the things should be known to you, okay? Clear? Now you can start directly writing in the console, okay? And for that you just have to write Control Shift plus I. That's it. You can start writing your JavaScript code. The simplest of the simplest line of code is console.log, which is basically just like your println, just like your why use JS engine. Now basically, if you talk about, if I'm talking in Hindi or in any other language which you don't understand, so we need something as an interpreter, or you can say that which helps you to understand those things which I am saying, right? Sir, I have knowledge of C and Java, then how much time it takes you to learn? You can obviously now if you have some experience with the programming language, maybe 15 to 20 days, that's it, okay? Now there should be something, right, so that you can understand whatever you are trying to say, and the other guy. So let's suppose I'm talking to Viresh, right, and I speak in let's suppose I speak in Punjabi, right, and you don't understand Punjabi. So there should be someone who helps you to understand, and help in, and vice versa. So whatever you are saying, I'm not able to understand, so there should be some kind of an intermediator, right? So JS engine is that. So basically our browser does not understand JavaScript code, right? So basically this JS engine that is there helps it to understand the JavaScript code, and it, whatever we want to do, it returns that and prints up in the browser, okay? That is the why we need to have this JS engine, okay? And plus if you want to perform any actions on the page, JavaScript should be there, right? So now let's see how we can write directly in the console. Just open up any browser, right? Just go on to this and just write Control Shift I. One second, Control Shift I. So it will open up the console, okay? So now You can simply write console.log, which is just like SOP, right? System.out.println or print statement, printf statement, right? C in, C out, right? We have. So we are printing hello world. Okay, done. So this is how you print anything on your browser. Done. So this is the one of the ways. Now obviously now you don't want to get into always into the console and start coding there. It doesn't make any sense. Is there any other way? Yes, obviously there is one more way. This is used for debugging purpose, and you should know these things. Okay, let's go back. Sir, VS Code is best than Notepad. Yes, absolutely, Salman. Okay, it is absolutely this is one of the best editors that we have. Okay, and now this is one of the way. Okay, so now what are the different other ways? So basically now here your HTML comes into picture. You should have a little bit of let's say 10 or 15 we have courses on HTML and CSS as well. You can check it and you will get a good understanding from beginner to a little bit of advanced knowledge about HTML and CSS as well. But that is the second thing. That is not your priority. Your priority is to learn JavaScript, and you should obviously now if you want to understand a little bit of HTML, then switch to that course as well. We have already available on our YouTube channel. Okay, and if plus you want to get a certificate, the completion certificate, which you want to add into your resumes or LinkedIn profiles, you should go to our Great Learning Academy and then register yourself and start finish that course and get the completion certificate. Okay, done. That is for adding things on your resumes, because everyone is learning, right? So you should be able to have something on your resume. You should have some projects. You should be able to justify those things, right? That is the most important thing. Now let's see how we can do this type of thing, right? How we can create an HTML page. So basically I will be using Sublime. So I will just click on Sublime. I will open up. I will first save this file. I will write Control S. I will save it on the desktop. Okay, so that it is easy for me to search for it. Okay, so I will name this as demo.html because I'm creating an HTML file. Okay, so now look at these things. So basically what I'm writing, I will just write HTML and that's it. Okay, I'll zoom it. I hope this is now visible to you guys. Okay, so I wrote just HTML. Sir, can I have one-to-one paid course on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript? Yes, you can check RPG programs, and you can also go for the career options that is there on our Great Learning Academy. Okay, there is a number also that will help you. Okay, anything that you want to ask, that is there. Okay, that number will help you out. Okay, I will just write HTML and then press a tab. You see what happened over here. This is auto completion. Those highlights you see, the indentation you see, this is the editor that I'm using, gives these features. Okay, these are the simple known features which you can easily see, right? So title, I will write home page. I will show you what is the significance of this as well. Home page, I wrote home page. And then in the body, what I'm writing a paragraph tag, which is p tag, basically just to create paragraphs. And I will write lorem, then press a tab. This is again an auto completion. This does not give me any gibberish text like you instead of writing A B C D E F like those things, it just gives me words, right? These words are nothing. These words mean nothing, but it does look obviously much more better than writing A B C D, right? Done. So this is the paragraph that I wrote. Now let's save this file and let me run it in the browser. Let's go into the desktop and just double click on it. We have already saved it. We have saved it on the desktop, and just double click on demo. Done. So it will be run in our browser. Obviously now my default browser is Google Chrome, so you see the element the paragraph tag over here, and this is the home page. Now what is the significance of this title? Let me give you a good little bit of knowledge about it. What is the significance of title? So anything that you search, right? So let's suppose I'm searching Great Learning Academy, right? So now these links, where do you think these links come from? This comes from the title tag that I just wrote, the home page. Okay, you see in the title, you see the same thing, right? When I click on it, let me just click on it, and it will redirect me to this page, right? The Great Learning Academy. Now you see the same thing that was there on the link is same thing on this tab. Now if I want to check it, I will just right click on it. I'll go on to the inspect, and I will look for what? The head tag. One second, I just need to look for the head tag that is there. Okay, so go into the console, not here, just a minute. view page source. Okay, and I'll see the whatever is the code written behind. So you see I'm zooming it a little bit. Yeah, you see over here, you see just a minute, look for the title tag. You see the title tag over here. Let me just minimize it. So you see the title tag over here. I'm highlighting it, guys. Yeah, you see the title tag. This is the significance of this title tag. Okay, so whatever you write in the title will be the link. Whenever you are trying to search something, will be the link which will be there on your browser. Okay, this will help you to find the things. Okay, and this should be it should be written without negligence. Okay, it should be written much more efficiently, and it is very important. Okay, so let me just minimize. Okay, done. So now let's go back to our code. So we have our HTML page that is there. So let me go back to the HTML page, that is home page. Okay, so now what else? Now how do we write our JavaScript? So basically the first way, you can write a script over here. We'll write a script tag over here. So obviously it can be written at two places, in the head tag, as well as can I get a certificate for this class? No pushback. Okay, if you want to get a certificate, you have to go through the GLA course and you will get the completion certificate. Okay, not for this, but obviously you can learn. You can ask me anything over here. Therein, that is a recorded session, and you cannot ask anything. If you have any doubts, just go through this course, and then go through the GLA Academy course, and then solve the questions at the end. Done. Get the certificate. And plus, if you want to learn more, we have a 10-hour course that is already present on our YouTube channel. Okay, done. So now obviously you can write this JavaScript code on the in the body part as well as in the head part. Now what is the difference? Can anyone tell me what is the difference quickly? Quickly, guys. Anyone? Pushpak, Acid, Kanhar, Healthy Life, how many days? Okay, Salma, anyone? What is the difference between writing this thing in the body and writing this thing in the head? So obviously when you are writing it in the body, whatever is in the body of that HTML tag, because whatever you write in the body will be displayed on our HTML page, that is on our browser. Anything that you write in your head tag will not be displayed. And yeah, anything that is willing to be okay. So now what if we write this thing at the end? So it will be the last thing that will be executed. So we have the script tag over here. Now what we will do, we'll write the script tag, and then what we'll write console, not this, console dot log hello, or we can say connected with JS. Okay, done. Let's save this file and let's see, do we get this message or not in our browser. So we have this HTML page over here. Just refresh it and let's go into the console to see if that message is over there. Okay, you see the connected with JS. So we are connected with our JavaScript. Now you might be thinking it will be displayed as content. No, it will not be displayed as a content. Head tag runs first. Yes, exactly, Yashraj. Yashraj is correct. Okay, so head tag runs first, body later. So if you have your JavaScript and your code is dependent, your application is in such a way that you want your JavaScript to run first, you can write it in the head tag. If you want it to be if you want it to run at the end, you write it in the body tag. Okay, at the end. Done. So we have connected with JavaScript file. Okay, now is this the efficient way to write our JavaScript code in the HTML file? No, absolutely not. We should take care of this one thing, that is separation of concerns. Okay, this is very important. Now what does that mean? It means that if you have an HTML file, write only HTML code in that. If you have a CSS file, create a separate file, write your CSS in that. If you have a JavaScript file, write your JavaScript in that file and connect it with the HTML file. Okay, now what is the significance? Obviously, now if the same script, obviously now here it is only a single line of code, but if you want that same script to be applied, or same JavaScript to be applied to 2 or 3 or 5 HTML pages, okay, so you have to write the script tag again and again in that body part, or in the body section, or in the head tag, right? It doesn't make any sense. We are doing this redundantly, right? Sir, I have a doubt whether Java and JS are same on different in terms of coding. Yes, they are different. We'll talk about JavaScript properties. I said, just wait, okay? Just give some time. Give us some time, and I will cover those things as well. We will see, okay? Sir, when will Python course will start? So Python courses we have already available on our on our Great Learning Academy. You can check it, okay? Those are already there, and we are working on different Python. And if you have subscribed to our channel, you can see that on our channel we have Python for machine learning and all those things. AI and all those things are there, okay? Python for data science is there, right? You can check it, okay? Now it doesn't make any sense if we are repeating ourselves, so we strongly believe that do not repeat yourself. In no case there should be redundancy. Now what is the best way? The best way, just remove this file from here, remove this script code, create a new file. First let's save this file with .js extension. So write demo.js, that is our JavaScript file, and then write the console.log, right? And then let's say we are connected with external file, okay? Done. Now we are connected with our external file. Let's save this and let's see how to connect it. So we'll go into the head part and we'll write script, right? And then inside the script, what we will write source, the source of that. One second, we'll write source, and the source of that file, that is the name of the file. We'll write demo.js, okay? Save this file, and let's go back to our browser. Let's refresh this page and let's go into the console, and you see we are connected with our external file. Now this is the most the most efficient way to connect with our HTML file, because now if you want to connect the same JavaScript code with two or different HTML files. Now when we talk about HTML files here, what do we mean? We mean web pages, right? So basically your website is nothing but the collection of web pages. Now on different web pages, let's suppose you have a website in that you have home, about us, contact us, and all those have that same JavaScript code. Instead of writing those individual in those individual web pages, instead of writing everything for writing the same thing for home, writing the same thing for about us, writing the same thing for contact us, you can just link these things, okay? Right? So it is very much it is obviously much more efficient than writing individually, okay? Done. So now let's go back. So this is the first way, that is creating a script tag, then creating an external file, which is obviously yes, we have, okay, Farooq, we have a course that is on React.js. It is just a beginner course, you can check it, okay? Now what is happening? So we use the script tag and then we connect it with our external JS file. So these are the three different ways. Now let's try to understand how we write comments. So in our HTML, in our JavaScript file, you can use a single line comments or a multi-line comment. So basically the same thing that how it works in Java as well, right? So this is simple, right? Now what about the variables? Now someone was asking, what is the difference between a Java and whatever we write in JavaScript, right? So obviously here, if you see how you declare a keyword, how you declare a variable, right? So it is important, guys. So listen to me very carefully, okay? So if you're writing var, right, and you're writing the name, and then you're storing a string value in it, okay? So you see, I'm writing var and then name and then Fazan in it, right? So this is a string. Now same thing, if I want to store an integer, what I'm writing var roll number and 27, same thing, right? This time, just a minute, yeah, this time what is happening, this is a string, this name is a string, and this time roll number is an integer, or you can say in this case it's a number. We'll talk about data types as well, right? So same thing, right? Var name, var roll number. So this is what is known as one of the properties of JavaScript. This is known as there is something known as weakly typed and strongly typed, right? Weakly typed and strongly typed, and one is known as dynamic in nature, dynamically typed, and statically typed, okay? So we'll talk about these properties much more detail. So for now, weakly typed means that you don't have to explicitly specify the type. Here it will act as a string, here it will act as a what, as a integer or number in this case, right? So now this is not the case in Java, right? You need to specify, okay, int roll number, then string name. You need to explicitly specify, okay, this is the integer roll number, this is a string, right? No, Shahrukh, you will not get a certificate for this class, okay? So you need to explicitly mention these things. Now this is one of the difference. We'll talk about much more differences, more differences with Java, okay? So yeah, you should log in and sign up for Greenland. Okay. Cool. So now what is happening? Okay. So now a variable is, obviously now we know what a variable is. If you want to refer to any location, right, in your memory, instead of going for the address for their addresses, we have something, let's suppose X or name or roll number, to refer to that particular location. It is much more easy for us and much more, we don't have to remember anything, just we can use this thing and we can easily manipulate and we can change the value as well. Okay. So it is much more easy for us. So this is what a variable is. It is just a name of a memory location where you can store data. Sir, is this a video recorded session? And yes, you can. Yes, you can. But I will recommend you to not leave. Obviously, you can ask me questions anytime. But you can also ask me questions in the comments as well. So, but if you have to leave, you can leave it. It will be recorded. Okay, done. So now, what about the naming conventions, right? How can you name anything? Can you name anything? No, absolutely not, right? So there's a naming convention. You can start with a letter, you can start with a dollar sign, or you can start with an underscore. Apart from it, if you start with a digit or numbers, it is an invalid variable name. Okay, if you go, it should start with letters from A to Z, either capital, or either in uppercase or in lowercase. It can start with an underscore, it can start with a dollar sign. Okay, so apart from after that, the first letter, it can be anything. Okay, now is this a valid variable name? Quickly, if I write @email, is this a valid variable name? Or if I write star roll number, is this a valid variable name? Quickly guys, just write it. Just write a yes or no. Is this a valid variable name? Can you say that, okay, this is a valid variable name? No, absolutely not. Okay, now also variables in JavaScript are case sensitive. That means if you're trying to access APPLE, this is the variable that you created. No, these are not same, Tausif. Okay, these are not same. You cannot create this, right? This is an invalid variable name. This doesn't fall under this domain, right? This is the domain, and if it doesn't fall under this, no, Ali, no, you cannot create @email, because it should be one of these, right? Letter, dollar, or underscore. Okay, absolutely. Okay, great. So now what else? If Harsha has declared a variable apple with A as an uppercase. Now she's trying to access, or Harsha, he's trying to access this apple using the lowercase at the front. Can we do that? Will it throw an error, that variable not declared like that, or will it work? Yes, not valid, Ali. Yes. Okay. Will it work? Are these the same? Are these two variables same, or will it throw us an error? Quickly write a yes or no. Error. Yes, correct. These are not. These are two different things. Okay. So this is all about naming convention. Okay. Now what about the data types? What about the data types? A special keyword are not available for declaration. Yes. Okay. So now what about this thing? JavaScript is a dynamically typed language, and it is also a weakly typed language. That means one type can be converted into another. Okay, so dynamically typed means that you don't have to specify data types explicitly, which I have already mentioned, right? So in JavaScript, right, there are 5 primitive data types, right? What are those? Those will be number, string, boolean, undefined, and null. Okay, so now what else? So now let's try to do a little bit of demo session, and let's see how things will work. Okay, so now let's go back into our console and let's try to analyze what are the different types of it. So you will write var and name, and then you write let's suppose Aditya. Okay, short form. Now this is don't think of what is this undefined when we talk about functions, or whenever basically if you're not returning anything at that time, it will return undefined. Okay, you don't have to worry about it. Whenever you talk about functions, you will understand, okay, what does this mean. Okay, Okay, cool. So now we have this. Now I want to check what is the type of, is there case sensitive or not? Yes, the JavaScript variables are case sensitive. Now if I'm trying to access this var, I will write name, right? It will say undefined. I will try to access name. So you see, I will try to access name with n, and in lowercase it will give me Adi. And if I try name, it says undefined because this variable is not defined. Okay, is this thing clear? Okay, now let me just clear my console. Okay, so now I want to check what is the type of what is the data type of name, right? The Adi, which I stored, right? So now what I will do, I will just write this type of, that is this function, and I will check the type of this name, and I will press enter. So obviously it is a string, right? Makes sense because we stored Adi in it. Now I'm doing the same thing, var roll number, and I will say roll number equal to 10. Okay, and now when I do type of, not the toolbar, the type of roll number, roll number. Okay, just a minute. I will say type of roll number, and then it will give me a number. So this is the next data type. Now if you observe carefully, the earlier name with n capital, right, or the n with the first letter was uppercase, at that time what should be the type of that? What should be the type of that name? This, what should be the type of name? Quickly, what should be the type of name? Guys in the chat, quickly just write what should be the type of this name. It should be undefined. Okay, it should be undefined because that was not defined. Okay, now if you say okay sir, everything is good. Well, if I wrote this thing null, if I stored null in this, which I can obviously. Now what should be the type of this time around? What should be the type of? It is an object. Now you don't get don't be scared. Okay, why it didn't give us the null? So everything, just like in Java, there is a rule. There is classes daily, not daily. There are live sessions on different topics only. Okay, so now don't be scared. So what is this object? Obviously it should be null, but it gave us an object because just like Java, we'll get into those details in our 10-hour course. You can check that. Okay, so basically I will give you a brief idea of why it does this behavior, why this behavior is there. So don't get confused. Okay, it is a little bit weird. JavaScript is a little bit weird. Okay, so now what is happening over here? Everything in Java is in the form of objects. Okay, so that is why null, when it should give null, it gave us the object. Okay, so don't worry about it, it will come to you naturally. Okay, so now what else? So now if I do this thing, if I write type of, now also this is the dynamic nature of JavaScript. So you can dynamically create var name, you can create a string, var roll number, you can create an integer. Now what do you mean by weakly typed language? That means converting one type into another. So we know that var roll number, which was there, if we try to access roll number, what is that? It is a number. We checked, right? We checked it. Now if I do this thing, if I do roll number plus a string, is it possible, or I can say Adi, right? Is it possible in any other language? No, it is not, but it is possible in JavaScript. So what you are doing, you are in your roll number, there is 10, and you are adding Adi to it, that is a string. So when I press enter, it says 10 Adi. And now what happened, if I do a type of this roll number, what should be the output? It should be string, right? So you see the difference, right? Earlier it was a number, and now it is a string. So this is what do you mean by type, weakly typed language. One type got converted into another. So earlier it was a number, now it is a string. So this is the huge difference between what Java and JavaScript, right? In Java you cannot do it, right? Cannot do it. You cannot store integer in a string. That is not possible. And if you do such things, it will just yes, absolutely, yes, Lakshmi. Okay, cool. So now what else? So can you now let's do one of the most commonly asked question regarding this. Okay, so let's create a variable and let's name it as g. Okay, let me name it as r number, that is roll number, and it is 10, right? So what is the type of, what will be the output of type of our roll number? What will be the type of? Obviously number, right? Now if I'm doing type of, type of, and now what will be the output? What will be the output, guys? Quickly write it in chat. I want to understand how much you are able to take it in. Quickly, how, what will be the output in this case? Will it be a number? Will it be a boolean? Will it be a string? Will it be anything? Wow, you, whatever you think. Okay, what should be the output? Think about it a little bit and then answer. You don't have to rush it. Okay, proc says object. Okay, fair enough. Anything else? Number, error, number. Okay. Okay, okay. Tausif is saying string. Ravi is saying string. Yes, Shahrukh, it will end it at 1. Okay, Ali is saying string. Rox is saying string. Okay, he has changed it from object to string. Okay, okay, guys. So now this will be a string. Now, why is this happening? Because, let me go back to my slide deck. So this is happening because if you see the type of number that was there, our roll number, it returned a string, right? It returned this thing, number, right? And double quotes. Now if I'm doing a type of this, right, what does this mean? This is a string. Got the point? Is this thing clear? Why it returned a string? Are you able to understand this? Okay, great. Anyone have any doubt? Guys, this is just a prerequisite. Everything will be covered in that 10-hour course. I want you guys to be very much interactive. Talk to me. Okay, just ask anything. Okay, number is one type of, no. Number is not one type of string. You see the return type. The return type was a number, but in double quotes. Okay, Prayag, in double quotes. So that is a string, right? And then when I do a type of on that number, it will give me obviously a string. So that is why the string. Okay, I will repeat. Okay, so let's go back into our browser. Okay, so let's see. You see here what I did, roll number. It gave me an output in the form of string. So double quotes, right? Double quotes number, and then I'm doing a type of, right? Again, so let me go back here and let me just clear my screen and let me just reiterate what I said. So I did a type of on our roll number. What was the output? It was double quotes number. Obviously it is a number, right? The type of. Now what I'm doing, I did a type of and type of again. So that means this number was returned to again a type of, right? Or you can say that here was a type of again. Okay, so this thing gave me the number. And now what about this whole thing? So we have number in place of here, and now this is in double quotes, so it will return a string. Okay, is this thing clear? Okay, we'll look into it. Okay, PDF link is not working. Okay, Manisha, we'll look into it. Okay, don't worry. Anyways, once the session is uploaded, you will upload. We usually upload the PDF of that as well. Okay. Yes, it will be shared. Okay, Manisha. Okay. Okay, great. Now let's talk about one of the most important thing in JavaScript, that is type coercion. Okay, what do you mean by type coercion? It is simple. It says that when we are comparing two values of different types, that means one is a string and one is a number, one type is forced to change into another type while when we are doing comparison. If you see, if we write if one, that means here what is happening, this one is a number, right? And it is forced to change into a boolean, that is true. So you see here what is happening, this is your type coercion. Okay, now what is happening here, then you have these different cases. Okay, so now obviously there is something that is known as not a number. Okay, which means that basically when you are checking, is this a number, is this a number, is this a number or not. Okay, so basically when you divide a string, that means you are trying to divide a string, that is Aditya divided by 10, which is not possible, so it will give you a not a number case, that this is a not a number case. Okay, so this is what a type coercion is: converting, forced to convert one type into another, which we earlier saw with the example of roll number, wherein we try to convert into an integer. Okay, into a number. Earlier it was number, then it was converted into string. Okay, now what are the two most important properties? We have already spoken about them. One is the dynamically type, which means you don't have to specify the type of the variable, which is not possible in Java. You need to specify. Here's your one difference. It is a weakly typed language. That means one type can be converted into another. Now, it is also not possible in Java. There's your second difference. Plus, you can stop it if you don't want the type coercion to happen, right? You don't want it. You don't want to type coercion, right? What do you mean by type coercion? You are saying, sir, this is not something that we usually do in programming, right? Correct? So I don't want that thing. Can I stop it? Can I stop this thing from converting one type into another? Yes, you can, with the help of this triple equal to sign. Okay, so let me just give you, before moving into the operators, let me give you a brief this thing about how it works. Okay, so I'm going into my Sublime. I will go into my this HTML JavaScript file. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'll create a variable and I will use a is equivalent to 10. Okay, and I will use another variable b equal to, this time it's a 10, a string. Okay, so now what I'm doing, I'm writing if a is equal to b, console dot log hello, else what you will do, else console dot log by. What should be the output? What should be the output, guys? So let me just copy it. I can run it and I can directly paste it in the console. Okay, so let me save it. What should be the output, guys? Quickly. What should be the output? What are you thinking? What should be the output in this case? Quickly. Will it be hello or will it be by? So one of them is string and one of them is a number, and then I'm checking if a is equal to 10. So some of you are saying hello. Okay, let's run this now. Okay, so here we have our home page and let's refresh this page. Done. And let's go into Control Shift I. Hello is the output. Now so Saloni, you are saying by. It is not correct. Why? Because what is happening over here? What is happening over here? When we use double equal to sign, you can say that type coercion happened. One data type or one variable was forced to change into another. Okay, or you can say that. Okay, or you can say that we only checked for data, not the data type. So we only checked for data. Data is 10. There are both the cases. Okay, so hello is the output in this case. What is this? Okay, now what if you want to check for both data as well as data type? You don't want to use the type coercion. You want to stop that. Now what will happen if I use this thing? What will be the output? I'm using one more equal to sign. Quickly, what will be the output in this case? Will it be still hello or will it be by? In this case, what will happen? Type coercion will, you can say that type coercion will not take into place, or you can say that this time around both data as well as data type will be checked. Okay, when I refresh this page and when I go into the console, it will say by. Exactly, right? Correct. So anyone having now it will say by, because now we are checking for both data as well as data type. Saloni, did you get it? Anyone has any confusion? Shahrukh says wait. Okay, we are waiting. Okay, no problem. If anyone has any confusion, I will repeat it. Shubham says by. Absolutely. Sanjeevani Sanjeeva says bye. Yes, yes, correct, correct, correct. Everyone is correct. So if anyone has confusion, please let me know in the chat. Okay, okay, Saloni got it. Okay, great, great. So everyone is. Can everyone confirm in the chat if everything is clear until this point? Quickly. Okay, okay, great, great, great. So this is how you stop. Okay, great. So this is how you stop type coercion. Okay. So let me just try to cover this as well. The unitary operator in terms of what? In terms of directly we'll code it out. Okay. So now what will be the output over here? So let me just create one variable a, and now what will be the output over here? So if I write, so we are talking about unary operator. Okay. So that means we don't need another operand. We just need a single operand. And based on that, we will just try to analyze certain things. Okay. If I wrote console.log plus plus or a plus plus, that means this is a post increment. Okay. And then what I wrote, console.log I wrote plus plus a, and then finally I wrote console.log a. That's it. Okay. Now what you say, this a plus plus is similar to what? A is equivalent to a plus 1. Okay. Just to be clear. Okay, done. So now what will be the output? Shahrukh, you won't get a certificate for this class. Okay, what will be the output in this case? Okay, quickly, what will be the output of these three statements? One is the post increment, another is pre increment, and the last thing is just we are printing it. Okay, so now here what is happening here, let me just give you another thing and let me just show you how it works. Okay, if you're talking about post increment, that means a plus plus. This means first assign the value, whatever is the value, and then increment it. Pre increment means first increment and then assign. Okay, now what we did over here, we did what was that? Did we did plus plus a or yeah? So we did a plus plus, we are printing it. Then we did plus plus a, and the value of a is 10, and then finally we printed out a. So here what is happening? We will first assign the value and then increment it. So the value will be 10. Okay. Then what is happening? Then in the next step, this a will be 11, and plus plus a means first increment, that means it will be 12 and then assign. So 12 will be the output, and in the last it will be 12. So the output is, and most of you are correct, which is very good to see, and all of you, almost all of most of you are correct, right? 10, 12, 12. Yes. Okay, great. So now let's run this program. Let's save this code and let's run it in the browser. Let's save this again and let's run it in the browser. So we are expecting the output to be 10, 12, 12. Okay, so let me just refresh it. So 10, 12, 12 is the output. Okay, so this is how your this is one of the operators, that is unary operator. So this is how it works. We have similarly, we have post increment and pre increment. Similarly, we have post decrement as well as pre increment. Okay, the pre decrement, post decrement as well as. Okay, okay guys, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next session, and I hope you enjoyed this. And day after tomorrow I'm taking a session on common coding problems, but it will be using Java. Okay, so there we will talk about some of the common problems that are asked in most of the tech interviews, and we'll discuss them. We'll talk about 5 to 6 problems, or let's see how many problems we can cover. Okay, I'll see you on Wednesday. Okay, thank you so much guys, and I'm just concluding this session. Okay, thanks a lot guys. When will the Python section start? Python is already there, and we do take sessions on Python as well. And if you want to learn Python, we have already courses available on our Great Learning Academy. Let me just quickly show you our academy. So Just go into the Great Learning Academy. Yes, yes, absolutely. Okay, just go, just type in Great Learning Academy, and there just click on this link, and then you have a free courses available. If you're looking for free courses, you go into the IT and software. You see over here. So you have Python fundamentals for beginners, right? What else is there? Hmm, related to Python. Okay, so if you talk about data science, you see, uh, here you have it, Python using ML. One second. So in Hindi as well, you see Python programming in Hindi, Python for machine learning in Hindi. So you have these courses available on our Great Learning Academy. You can check it. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed this session, and I'll see you in the next. Okay. Thanks a lot. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Vikas. No, you will not get certificate, Shahrukh. In order to get a certificate, you need to go into our academy, and therein you will get the certificate. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you so much.